which is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. George Springer's in right field leading off. Alex Bregman had the day off yesterday. He's at shortstop. He'll bat second. Carlos Correa now has a day off. Jose Altuve at second base hits third. Cleaning up third baseman Yuli Gurriel. Evan Gattis, the DH, bats fifth. Batting sixth, big three-run home run yesterday. First baseman J.D. Davis. Marwin Gonzalez, the left fielder, will bat seventh. Batting eighth and catching Max Stassi. Brian McCann goes on the DL today with a sore knee. And Tony Kemp, he's in center field. He's going to bat ninth.
And CC Sabathia going to toe that slab tonight in the Boogie Down Bronx. Ready to go, number 10 on the year. The numbers are good, although the last three have kind of been a little bit of a step backwards for CC. And let's go ahead and tell you a little bit more in our pitcher scouting report, brought to you by the Nissan Tech for All Sales event. And he really let one get away his last start. He had 10 runs on the board to work with and ended up giving up 7 before he got knocked out of the game. He's a stand-up guy. He stood in front of his locker afterwards and put it on himself, and really comes down to command central. You know, he needs to get on the edges, especially with his cut. That cut fastball into right, he sets up everything else, and he needs a good one tonight. Kind of get back on track just to feel good about yourself. And there's no panic in this guy, though. He trusts his stuff. He knows what he's doing out there. But nonetheless, you need a good one.
Mm-hmm. And obviously you need a good one when you know the guy you're opposing has an ERA of 2. Charlie Morton is very, very tough. So you have to keep it close. Astros are 35-20. Yankees are 33-17. And we're about ready for baseball here in the Bronx. Springer's ready. Sabathia is ready. Let's do it here at Yankee Stadium. First pitch, grounded softly right side. Gleyber Torres throws it past Bird, and reaching will be Springer. A slow developing play. The ball bounces into the camera well, which allows Springer to go to second.
Well, Gleyber Torres uncharacteristically yesterday made some mistakes, and then all of a sudden, boom, first play of the game with the big shift going to his left. The only thing I can think of is, you know, it might have been that the infield's a little wet, but he just kind of lawn darted it over there to first base.
Bird got his feet caught up just a bit as well.
So that's a hit and an E4, allowing Springer to get to second. And one more time, we see it, soft contact against Sabathia. He has the lowest exit velocity average of any pitcher in the American League. So, Paul, you had a quizzical look. You were uncertain why that was a hit?
Yeah, I don't understand it. I mean, it's a slow hit ball, and a good throw has him. I mean, it wasn't a tough play. Time-wise, I guess he had to go a ways, but.
Yeah, we see Greg Burke pick that kind of that kind of ball in the dirt a lot as well.
Bregman grounds it foul.
Think of all the hitters in the Astros lineup, Paulie. Bregman probably has the best eye. Really knows the strike zone as just about as well as anybody in their lineup. It's tough to get him to chase. Among the league leaders at or near the top, but not chasing pitches out of the zone or just off the plate.
2-2.
Well, to your point there, right there, Coney. I mean, that's a tough pitch to take with 2 strikes. Cutter in off the plate. A crossfire, but good location. You see kind of handcuff Sanchez behind the plate.
Bregman in with a good eye, 34 walks. Grounded. 2-1 Duhar checks the runner back and gets Bregman for the first out. Take a look at the Yankee defense, brought to you by Altice One by Optimum. In left field, you've got Gardner. Hicks is in center. Judge is over in right. Infield, and Duhar, Gregorius, Torres, and Bird. That's third to first. Sanchez behind the plate. Karsten Charles Sabathia is on the mound. Here is Jose Altuve.
This is where that base open kind of comes into play, huh, Coney? I mean, you're not going to give in to him. First pitch, backdoor slider.
You know, Altuve almost on the other end of the spectrum as opposed to Bregman, the previous hitter. I mean, he's very aggressive. You see him, he's ready to swing from the on-deck circle.
Good pitch for a strike, 0-2. It's weird, a right-handed batter hits .231 in limited time against lefty pitching, but .358 against righties.
Where do you go here, Coney? You've had 2 backdoor sliders. Chances are you want to show him something inside off the plate, huh?
Yeah, and definitely miss down and in if you do.
Punched out to right field, it's a base hit. Here comes Judge. They're going to hold Springer at third as the right fielder fires it into Bird.
They went right back out with the same pitch. And Altuve just too good of a hitter to not kind of change things. This is not a bad pitch, but you've seen the same pitch the previous 2 pitches. I think the league is starting to understand now. Aaron Judge has a very good and a very accurate throwing arm. And I'm going to see him challenged very often, especially early in the game with 1 out.
So here's Gurriel. Great numbers against the Yankees, so they have to be careful with him. In regular season action, he's 16 for 42. That's .381 against Yankee pitching. Off the foot, foul ball.
That's when you know that cutter's really working, Coney. When you see guys start beating it down on their feet and their shins. You see that little dot, that just means the ball's coming in, and you have a very tough time kind of squaring it up as a hitter. Good tendency to stay on top of it and bang it down on your foot.
You would think with all the technology in the world that they couldn't come up with a Kevlar shoe or something like that, that it wouldn't hurt like that, because that everybody's susceptible to getting a real bad injury.
Yeah, those shin guards, they do help, but it just seems that they do miss a lot. And that shin guard right there got longer. I remember wearing one, but it wasn't nearly as long as that. And you've seen so many things to go the hitter's way over the years, as far as the elbow pads and braces and things where the fear of getting hit, and also right here on the helmet, the fear of getting hit is almost gone.
Just underway, first and third, 1 man out. Fly ball. Judge will make the catch. Will he double up Altuve? Oh, yes, he will. End of the inning. Altuve was going on the pitch. Judge saw it, calmly made the play, and fired in for the 9-3 double play. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 1 man left. A strike from Judge for the inning-ending double play. Brett Gardner in left, Aaron Judge in right, Greg Bird at first. It's the top 3. Giancarlo Stanton back in the lineup. He'll clean up in DH. Gary Sanchez will catch. Didi Gregorius is shortstop at 6th. And the bottom third of the order, Aaron Hicks in center, Miguel Andujar at 3rd, and Gleyber Torres, who just won the American League Player of the Week award. He'll play 2nd and he'll bat 9th.
Charlie Morton. Those are very, very skinny numbers, Paulie. Thin to win. And the pitcher scouting report brought to you by Nissan. ShopChooseNissan.com and reverse transformation. He's gone from a sinker finesse guy to a power guy, but still getting the ground balls, ground chuck. 54.6%. That's good for 3rd in the AL and tough on lefties. Lefties hitting just 136 off of him this year.
And he deals outside to a lefty, Gardner, 1-0.
In fact, 3 Astros on top of that ground ball list. Keiko, McCullers, and Morton, the top 3 in inducing the most ground balls in the American League.
Oh, driven deep to right field. There it goes. See ya. Home run Gardner. 1-0 Yanks.
All of a sudden, is Brett Gardner going to get on a home run tear? The other day, he was the first to. He and Aaron Judge going back-to-back, and boom, Charlie Morton went away. Then he throws a strike. Brett Gardner's been jumping some guys early lately. Fastball just tails out over the plate. You see the reaction of that. Know where it's headed.
You watch Brett Gardner and BP the last few sessions. He's starting to try to do this a little bit more. He picks his spots. Seems like he goes on a home run tear every year where he starts to look early in the count and launch.
Judge grounds one to third. Gurriel. And Judge is out on the 5-3, but he's already made his mark, Paul, in the top of the inning with that double play.
Yeah, he saved a run now. And as a right fielder, you got to process this because this is right ahead of you. He saw Altuve go, checked on him, made sure that he didn't get back. Instead of going back, a lot of outfielders don't even process that and go ahead and try to throw him out at home. Just a good, smart play by Aaron Judge. Saving a run. In essence, that's a leadoff double with that air. CC Sabathia, big break, not giving up a run.
Pitch to Bird. Up and in, 1-0. Bird hit his first home run of the year yesterday against a tough one, Justin Verlander. 3 games so far off the DL. And you could just see the respect they have for him. Yesterday he batted cleanup. Today he's batting third. And when they envisioned this lineup during the offseason, it was with Bird separating the right-handers. One and two on Bird.
Coney Morton's always had a good breaking ball, but it seems like he has a couple now that he kind of works with.
He really has. You know, he's refined his breaking stuff much like Justin Verlander has. I give Brett Strom a lot of credit in Houston using their TrackMan technology.
TrackMan now for breaking balls?
Actually, just like the launch monitors, you know, they got release points, spin rates. They really refine it. It's almost as if, you know, you can go and throw your side session and get a read on every pitch you throw, and instant feedback. It's the way you would if you're getting fitted for a driver in the golf shop.
I guess the golfers have been ahead of us for a few years, huh?
Really have. All the technology that's been in golf for years is now transferred over to baseball. It really is. The similar companies, same type of technology.
And the 3-2. Serve down the left field line, and that ball is going to be fair and bounce into the corner. Going for 2 is Bird. The throw is not in time and not handled by Altuve. So a double for Bird.
A lot of times as a left-handed hitter, you don't know if it's going to be fair or foul, so you kind of just jog in place to read it. And you'll see Bird here. Great swing, but just kind of waiting and waiting and waiting to figure out if it's fair. Good throw might have him. Think about Yankee Stadium and the short lines. A lot of times right there you get a good carom and that ball comes right to the outfielder quick.
So Bird now 4 for 12 since coming up the DL, and here is Giancarlo Stanton, who did not play yesterday. He's on an 0 for 12 slide. Chopped slowly to Altuve. He'll make the play. Stanton fell down out of the box, so didn't run to first. Moving to third is Bird.
Every once in a while you kind of spin your tires getting out of the box, try to stay on top of it, and you see that back line that's still wet just kind of gives out. Watch his back foot, and right on the paint, it's still slippery, and it just goes.
Here's Gary Sanchez. Sanchez 1 hit in his last 14 at bats. Yankees lead 1-0 on the Gardner homer. And you've got Bird at third with 2 men out. There's a breaking ball strike. Let's take a quick look at the Astros defense, brought to you by your Tri-State Ford dealer. Gonzalez, Kemp, and Springer left to right. In the outfield, Gurriel, Bregman, Altuve, and Davis third to first. Stassi behind the plate, and Morton's on the mound. Oh and 2. Ball diving down and away.
Gary Sanchez seeing a lot of breaking balls lately. I think a lot of pitchers are seeing that he's kind of in that pull mode. Everything's kind of opening up a little bit, so you might show him in, but try to get out of the way. You know what amazes me now, Coney, is you see a pitch on the monitor and it has so much movement, and then you see it's still 98, 99. And that just was unheard of, 10 years ago, a sinking fastball at 99.
Yeah, the last guy to do that was probably J.R. Richard back in the 80s, who was famous for his stuff.
Swing and a miss, or a wave and a miss. Breaking ball moving down and away. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 man left on base. The 1 run on this hit, Brett Gardner hits one to the seats. His 3rd home run of the year. 1-0 Yanks.
We went over Charlie Morton. You figured you'd get through Verlander, but Morton, stellar numbers and protected home. Yankees 20-9, but the only problem is Houston's 19-9 on the road, so something has to give. You have to outlast Morton. I mean, you've got to get to their bullpen. They've been a little suspect lately. So if you're CC, you know you got to battle.
So after serving up the home run to Gardner, Morton stakes Sabathia to a 1-0 lead. One count on Gaddis. Foul back. Now, this is usually it for Astro pitchers. 22 times this year, Houston has allowed no more than 1 run in a game. By far the most of any team. Second place, Dodgers with 15. Yankees have 12. And this is a pretty potent offense, too. You hold a team to 1 run, you have a good chance to win. So through 55 games since 1920, the 45 Tigers had 24 of these games, 68 Indians 23. And that's why he's laughing.
You know what? What did I tell you yesterday, Michael? I was going to find out. Remember?
It was about Verlander.
Right.
And you said that you were going to ask him where he was having dinner last night.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
That was it.
Yeah.
No, I was going to ask him if he intentionally, because we were talking about if he intentionally holds back because he throws harder later in the game. And so I did ask him, and he had some interesting
crush to left field. Going back is Gardner, turning, looking, see ya, into the bleachers, tie game.
Gaddis really has the ability to pull his hands in. The pitch before pulled his hands in close to his body to get the barrel of the bat here. And again, very quick to the baseball by just kind of bringing his hands in close to his body. 1-run lead didn't last long. Wow. Very handsy hitter, but boy, he gets the barrel of the bat out quick.
Well, after James Harden's exit, Gaddis and Keuchel are the beards to fear in Houston.
Wow. Nice.
All right, so tell us, what did Verlander say?
Oh,
Does he hold back?
He said that he does get more loose as the game goes on, but he said that he intentionally holds something back because he said if he starts there at 94, 95, he has a tough time going back. So once he gets there, said if I have to get to 95 to get through the third or fourth inning, it's going to be a tough day for me because I have trouble pulling it back. And I thought that was an interesting thing, Coney. That
fly ball, deep left again, backing up Gardner on the track, leaps and makes the play. A long first out.
Wow. Okay, good job by Gardner, kind of drifting back, but realizing he had enough room. When you square up back to the wall, you know that you even if you hit the wall, it's not going to jar it out of your glove. Just talk about just getting in enough. Boy, that's a hopeful look as a hitter, boy. You know it's going to be close, and all of a sudden your dreams are gone.
Here's Gonzalez, and here's a strike.
Well, the two pitches show you the difference in the two cutters. One was just good enough, and the one to Gaddis previously stayed up and out over the plate. Difference between hitting one 415 feet or 367 feet. It's a matter of about 2 or 3 inches on the pitch location.
Now, the Yankees have certainly done their share of winning since starting off the season 9-9, but you look for things that could be problem areas. And one thing that Aaron Boone, I'm sure, has taken note of, the Yankees' rotation in the last 16 games is pitching to a 6.02 ERA. And that's with Severino at 2.50 over his last 3 starts. So in 13 starts from CC, Gray, Tanaka, and Herman, 6.99. Hard to win those games. You really got to outslug the other team.
And now you know why Ronald Torreyes was sent to the minor leagues. Because you need the extra pitcher right now.
When you're facing the elite teams with the great pitchers, you can't give up that 4 or 5 runs because it puts too much pressure on your offense. But we were showing the pitchers in the picture, and I thought Tanaka really had a bounce back start. I mean, he got through the 6th inning, and then you showed Herman, and believe he gave up that 3 home run. But if I'm Larry Rothschild, Aaron Boone, I'm very happy the way he threw the ball in a big situation against a really good team, bouncing back.
2-2. Gregorius can't make the play as he made the dive, and the ball just eluded him. So Marwin Gonzalez picks up a single. Looked like Didi had it lined up, but took off.
Like Didi knocked the wind out of himself too. A lot of times as a fielder, when you land right on your chest, as he did there, you kind of knocks the wind out of you, just out of his reach. And especially early in the game, you see the infield still kind of wet, and you don't slide. You kind of hit and just stop. Like that sound effect I just gave.
That was nice.
Boom, right?
Hope the crowd might picked it up. There's a strike. Before the game, the Astros put Brian McCann on the DL with a sore knee. His backup says he's done a nice job offensively.
A lot of people thought that as he was getting a lot of playing time because he's been swinging the bat pretty well, but now you look at it, he's had a sore knee. He's probably been nursing.
Stassi has a little bit of a connection to the Yankee. His great uncle was outfielder Merrill Hogue, 13 big league seasons, 7 with the Yankees, and he won 3 World Series titles with the Yankees in 32, 37, and 38.
How far does it go back? I'm great uncle. How far does it go back before you're basically not even related?
You know what? It's a great question.
I mean, if we go back far enough, I mean,
I think you and I are probably related.
Maybe. I was just going to say Coney. I didn't look at you. Yeah. I was going to say Coney and I because our personalities are so similar, right? Lifestyles during our playing days, right?
I'm staring at two nuggets right now. I just can't see it. Coconuts don't match up.
Very worried, Paul. Peripherally, I could see Cohn's giggling to himself. That's going to lead to
There's
something bad.
going on, huh?
After about 8 years, I've developed a filter. You know, that's when I tell Bill Bolin to cut off my mic for about 2 minutes here. Dave's not here.
Chop softly to second. They get the force at second for the second out.
Torres comes in. Start to pivot. I actually thought he was going to go to first base. Close at second, but getting a lead runner very important in this situation.
Here's Tony Kemp. Astros already have 4 hits. Game is tied at 1. Home run by Gaddis, home run by Gardner. And a strike.
I always look at these as really big outs because CC is so good at, dominating left-handed hitters that, situations like this, 2 outs, left-handed hitter, you've got to take, you've got to take outs when they're there. If he makes his pitches, he gets out of this inning.
That's a great point. I always looked at that at the bottom of the order, but you got to get these outs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these lefty on lefty, Sabathia, if he makes his quality pitches, this should be an advantage to him.
Right.
Otherwise, you got George Springer on deck, and you're turning over the lineup once again here in the second.
Well, CC can go 2 ways, and he's going to go to the slider away.
That gets through Sanchez. And Stassi will advance to second. Looked like Sanchez caught a spike on the painted NY behind the plate.
Once in a while you just, he's late to get there, but glove not down. And, once in a while you, as a catcher, you're not going to catch a ball. That's a ball that, you flat out as a catcher, you got to catch.
No doubt about it. He was late to get there, and he'll tell you that after the game. That's a play he should have made.
Grounded to Bird. Fair ball. He'll step on the bag to get Kemp, and that'll do it here in the second. 1 run, 2 hits. onehealth.org/getcare. And by Kia, America's best value summer event. And Raymore and Flanagan Furniture, furnishing your style. And by your local Chevy dealers, visit ChevyOffers.com. Gregorius takes a strike, and the bottom of the second is underway.
See that?
Michael, as we know, Didi Gregorius had really been struggling heading into yesterday's game. Just 4 hits in his previous 7 at-bats yesterday. He finished 2 for 4 and looked as though he might have turned a corner. He told me in the clubhouse he felt better, not based on the results, based on the fact that he was more comfortable at the plate, his foot was down, and he felt much more balanced. He's been putting in some extra work with hitting coach Marcus Timms, with the focus being on his lower half. You hope those couple of hits yesterday were something that made it click for Didi Gregorius, and he's able to continue that.
And he made you look bad, Meredith, by striking out there.
Meredith, you got to get your story over.
We are going to have a conversation after this game. I'll tell you that right now.
Not all about one to bat, Meredith. You might look a hero before the night's over.
Well, that pitch really moved a lot.
Yeah, breaking ball.
We talked about how tough Morton is on left-handed batters. It's that pitch right there that makes him so difficult to hit. Left-handed batters coming into this game were just 15 for 110 off of him, and
wow,
that equates to a 136 batting average, and it's going down.
The thing is, when you face a pitcher like Morton, who's having the year he is and the kind of stuff, Didi had one pitch in that at bat and he fouled it back, and then you give Morton a chance to throw that nasty breaking ball, and it's just, as a hitter, you got to know almost that when you go up there, you're in a 2-strike mode. Get the ball in play early. Certain guys you do not want to be 2 strikes against. Morton, Verlander, those are a couple of them.
Got a couple of different kinds of breaking balls. A little slower curve there to get over that you just saw, and then something in the mid-80s, more of a slurvy slider to finish off hitters for a strikeout pitch.
Bunted foul.
Two-seam fastball. It even kind of handcuffed him trying to bunt the ball. It's a drag bunt. You know, you got to push it to right to the left side over by third base, and the ball inside. It took the bat out of his hand. See, the first changeup I think we've seen tonight, Coney. Just off the outside corner.
There's a lot of starts where he doesn't even get to that pitch. You know, he'll break it out. He's got it.
One, bottom of the second inning. Home run by Gardner in the first. Home run by Gaddis in the second.
Don't know what's going to happen in this at bat, but that was that pitch. That was a slider that stayed out over the middle of the plate. And Hicks fouled it off, gives Morton another chance.
Morton, 34 years old, from Reading, Connecticut. He was the winning pitcher in 2 Game 7s in the postseason last year. 5 shutout innings in the start against the Yankees in the ALCS, and then pitched 4 innings at Dodger Stadium in Game 7 of the World Series in relief. Strike 3. Hicks down looking, and he thought the ball was way inside. And that'll bring up Miguel Andujar, which leads us to Who's Hot. Brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Last 12 games, 16 for 46, 6 extra base hits, 5 ribbies, hitting .348, overall .292, 5 and 18.
I noticed this yesterday with Verlander. It takes a long time, and I think it's because what you were talking about, Conde, they don't shake off. They'll just stand there and stare while the catcher continues with signs. Andujar didn't like it and stepped out.
I used to like to stare myself. You know, I thought less information to the hitter was better. That's where rhythm comes into play, and that's when you talk about personal catchers or relationships between pitcher and catcher. That's where that really comes into play. Just a body language, a look, a stare. can tell you, no, I don't want that. Go to the next sign.
Drilled into left center field. That is a base hit. Beautiful play by Kemp to cut it off. And Duhar going for 2. He makes it. Another extra base hit for the rookie.
A really good decision. Not only a great swing, but a really good decision. Kind of a hanging breaking ball. But a good decision because Kemp, being right-handed, is going to have to reach across his body going to the left field gap where you can take a chance. Very hard to stop and throw against your body all the way back to the second base. He's an extra base hitting machine, huh?
When he hits a ball, he hits it hard.
Yeah, he does.
There's Gleyber Torres, the American League Player of the Week. Second Yankee to get that award. Didi Gregorius got it as well. And Didi also was the American League Player of the month of April. One and one. That one gets past Stassi as Andujar advances to third.
Almost looks possibly a cross-up. Stassi's looking in. You could see that ball. He's late, almost a whiff. So I'm not sure what this will be called, either a wild pitch or a pass ball, but it looks like a cross-up. It's going to end up being a pass ball because it didn't hit the dirt before his glove. It almost got past him.
There's a base hit right center. And Duhar will score. Torres with an RBI single, and the Yankees retake the lead 2-1.
I absolutely love Torres' approach, especially with men in scoring position. Doesn't try to pull everything. You'll watch, this ball's in. Remember Derek Jeter and how he fights these balls off, and that's how you drive in runs. What a great swing. A lot of base hits, a lot of RBIs. Puts himself in a good position, and he stays through the ball instead of coming around it. It's a great picture.
There's some things that are just hard to explain, right? The ability to get the barrel of the bat to the baseball. The hand-eye coordination thing, and you know it when you see it. It's kind of hard to teach. He's got it.
Yeah.
He's got that it factor.
Just he's a guy that could hit 300 year after year, and his power has been surprising to this point. But his approach by using the whole field gives him the ability to hit for a high average, and that's why I said yesterday it's so important with the strikeouts in this lineup that you have a guy like this that will take the ball the other way intentionally.
Ground ball, will it get through? Grabbed there by Bregman, but not in time on the throw to first. So another hit for Gardner as Torres moves to second.
Brett Gardner, another good swing. Behind in the count this time. Didn't get the fastball, but his speed's going to make this an impossible play. It gives Aaron Judge a big at bat here with runners in scoring position.
Brett Gardner's been around a while. One thing he has not lost is a step. He still runs as well as he ever has.
Before that base hit in his last 15 games, hitting .345, .438 on base percentage. So those numbers go up, and his average has now climbed to .249. He's picked up 9 points tonight. Here's Judge, who grounded out softly to third in the first. Awesome numbers in these situations so far this year for Judge. And Torres in scoring position. 2-0. 3-0 with Bird on deck.
Aaron Judge doesn't even look down at the third base coach. I mean, he's got the green light if he wants to use it.
He just seems so relaxed in the batter's box this year. Like he's in control. He's going to dictate the pace and control the strike zone.
There's ball 4. Seemed like Morton didn't want anything to do with Judge, but now he has to face Bird.
He saw some fastballs in the count, but nothing close. And I agree with you, Michael. I don't think that once he got behind, that he was going to give in at all, even loading the bases.
And here comes Brent Strom, the pitching coach. And as he talks with Morton, we remind you to watch every out-of-market regular season game live at home, in the office, or on the go with MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB At Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. So the Astros have used 2 of their 6 mound visits. And now a big spot for the Yankees. They're up 2-1, bottom of the second. And Greg Bird at the plate. He doubled the left his last time up. Oh and 1.
You always love to see hitters adjust, but you also like to see pitchers and how they adjust to hitters. Greg Bird lines a ball to left field, fastball away. So what do? You start him off with a breaking ball in. Try to change things up a little bit.
One and 1. Gleyber Torres at third, Brett Gardner at second, Aaron Judge at first. 2 men out, bottom of the second. Yankees have a 2-1 lead, looking for more.
It's one thing Greg Bird's always done is know the strike zone his whole career.
Breaking ball for a strike. Backdoor 1-2.
Talk about a big pitch in a certain situation. That could have been a ball, could have been a strike. And Morton gets the call. Talk about a big difference of 2-1 or 1-2 with bases loaded.
Looked like Stassi was looking for it in too.
Strike 3, Bird down looking.
I'm not going to give him that one. That ball's away.
That's what Bird thought. But the Yankees retake the lead. 1 run, 3 hits, but the bases are left loaded. Out performance, and for one of the hottest collectibles of the season, Ron Guidry Bobblehead Night, the second in the 2018 collectible series, presented by AT&T for the first 18,000 guests that are in attendance. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com. Visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. 2-0 to Springer as we start the third. A strikeout of Bird ends the second and leaves the bases loaded for the Yankees. So Morton got 2 friendly calls from the home plate umpire, Tripp Gibson. 1 to make it 1-2 and 1 for the strikeout. So, Paul, you would not have been pleased with that call if you were at the plate.
No, the first one was kind of borderline. I would not have been pleased with that, but then I would have been irate on the second one because that takes the bat out of your hand. That's the 3rd strike, and that ball clearly went around the plate, didn't hit the target. Not a big fan.
CT does not get the call there. And the count is full at 3-2. rip foul.
It's amazing how, the Houston Astros, you're not real familiar, and then all of a sudden these guys look like guys you've been watching for 10 years because of the World Series last year. Just the huge at-bats that Springer had. I mean, now you're used to watching these guys play.
Grounds out to Didi for the first out.
The rivalry for the Yankees has always been and will always be the Red Sox.
Mm-hmm.
But you can get a little something going here. The Yankees and the Royals got something going in the late 70s up to 1980, where they met 4 out of 5 years in the playoffs. And it looks like there's a chance these two might start banging heads in the postseason again this year. And that was a great series they had last year. The home team won every game.
It's a tough series to be a hitter because, I mean, you're getting quality starters every single game.
Popped up. Right side, Bird back. And he makes the play. This ALCS, the guys we're talking about, Astros 1-7. Yankees actually outscored them. They hit them average-wise, out-homered them, but the Astros got the big hits, and certainly were not scored upon that much when it came to the games at Minute Maid Park. And the series MVP was Justin Verlander.
Got to give A.J. Hinch a lot of credit, as Aaron Boone obviously is new to this. He was up here with us in the booth last year. A.J. Hinch, for a team that's known for their analytics. Jeff Luhnow, very progressive general manager. A.J. Hinch, a smart guy. He managed by his gut in that postseason. Really did. He went, especially with regards to the bullpen.
That's what I was going to say, the bullpen. He was bringing in guys you didn't expect on paper. And I think sometimes when you look back, you have to do that in certain games. Playoff games are so much different than the over 162 game season.
He deserves a lot of credit, A.J. Hinch, for how he managed in the postseason last year. Sabathia looking sharp this inning. Got a chance to nail down a quick one here. And that's no small thing against the top of the Houston order. Already batting for the second time here in the third inning. Sabathia having a chance to kind of restore order here after giving up a run last inning. Couple of jab shots, and now 2-2 count on Jose Altuve.
Swing and a miss. He retires the top of the order in order. 1, 2, 3. We go to the bottom of the third. This finale beginning at 6:30. That's tomorrow night on Yes. Remember, tomorrow's start is a 6:30 start here at the stadium.
What time you want me here, Michael?
Please be here by 6:30.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to cut into your show tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah.
Leave a little bit early.
It is.
Better talk fast, get it all out.
Don and Peter will hold down the fort.
Is that right?
Count 0-2 on Stanton. Grounded out to second. That was in the first. Fouled away.
You'll really see him dig in on that back line, and then just how close that front shoulder is. But you see very little movement. I mean, he's so strong that he really doesn't have to load or anything. Just kind of steps into it and lets it fly.
I'll say this. I've said it before. I'll say it again. It bears repeating. Our crew gets the best shots anywhere. We've got cameramen everywhere.
One, two. Swing and a miss. Stanton down on strikes.
Yeah, breaking ball starts out in the strike zone and ends out in the other batter's box. But so one thing about a closed stance is you have to really make up your mind quick, because if it's inside, you really have to wail open. Sometimes that can really fool you on that breaking ball.
You can see how late the movement happened there. Once he had committed to his swing, the ball started diving out of the zone.
Paul, can he legitimately reach that pitch? Because he's so close, he's not striding forward that much. Can he reach that outside corner?
I mean, you can reach it. I don't know if you can do much with it. I mean, that ball's off the plate, but I mean, he's kind of set up for middle away to be his down the middle pitch. So, you know, he's so tall to start with that he has good plate coverage to start. Gary Sanchez still a steady diet of breaking balls, off-speed stuff. Until he makes up his mind to hit that ball the other way, he's not going to see that inside fastball that he wants.
Well, 4 and 5 in the Yankee order today. Right now, they are combined 1 for their last 30. Stanton's 0 for 14, and now Sanchez is 1 for 16.
It really comes down to getting good pitches to hit. We've seen them chase. Their chase rates have gone up. And part of that is the pitcher making good pitches.
Didn't throw the ball.
I was going to ask you if that was a good changeup. Every at bat now, when you watch Didi after a couple hits yesterday, you know, am I still slumping or am I out of it? And that's what's going on in your head. You just got to try to battle to have a good at bat to relieve you a little bit, because you're still a little uptight. You've gone through what he's gone through the past 3 weeks.
David, are you seeing that they're pitching him outside more?
I do. I think they definitely are. When they come in off the plate. You can see there's Stassi set up in for that fastball. It ended up away, but I have seen, and James Smythe is, you know, our researchers has gone through the numbers, and there has been about an 8% increase on pitches away to Didi over the last month or so.
He went through 4 pitches right there, Coney. Multiple signs, and none of them worked.
A lot of times you come inside for show, miss inside, and try to speed them up in order to go away.
Didn't get the call there, 3-1.
Kind of the classic style of pitching. You speed them up inside, you slow them down away. So one thing leads to another.
Up the middle, a base hit.
Now you start thinking in your head, all right, now I'm starting to feel a little bit better. See, this is a two-seam fastball that he stays inside and just rockets right back up the middle. These are great, great ways to come out of little funks hitting, staying on the ball a little bit longer. Most hitters have the tendency to want to come all out at once and hit home runs and drive the ball. It usually starts by, you know, a couple base hits the other way, base hit up the middle, and then everything seems to get in sync.
That was a good swing right there.
Absolutely.
Morton tried to go away, left it on a bit, but the Gregorius approach was that way, exactly what you're talking about.
Gregorius is single, the Yankees' 6th hit against Morton. 1-1.
Change up, and you talk about the 6 hits, Michael, and not even through the 3rd inning. That's putting some good at bats on a really good pitcher. And Morton, if you look, his two-seam fastball has really kind of got out over the middle of the plate. His breaking ball's been good, but he's missed with his fastball more than anything else. Oh, hit the bat.
Looks like it did. As the count was 1-2. We'll take a look.
On the return throw.
Yeah. Boink. A little trouble with that bat. You remember he fell yesterday. The bat came up and hit him in the face. Yeah.
1-2. Strike 3. Hicks down looking. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We've played 3 in the Bronx. Yankees lead the Astros.
They're among the league leaders. This is how you get soft contact. Late movement inside on right-handed batters. 62.9 miles an hour, and then once again, when Sabathia is right, these are the type of swings you see.
Gurriel takes a strike on the outside corner as we start the 4th inning. Lowest average exit velocity in the big leagues. Carlos Martinez of the Cardinals just a smidge ahead of Sabathia. Drilled to left field and foul. Into the 2nd deck. Strike 3. Gurriel down looking.
A lot of the top of the strike zone and the corners. Pitcher's taking advantage of it. Kind of a hanger, actually, but it just hit the top of the strike zone. CC will take it. Not that it's not a strike. It's just as a hitter, you're not accustomed to seeing that pitch called. So you just, in your mind, you don't swing.
It's an ugly strike.
Yeah.
Not sure. That's maybe a makeup call for the last inning.
And that happens. There's no doubt about it.
All the talk about the strike zones. What's a strike and what's not. Now we have the box. Everybody sees, and these umpires are graded much more closely than they ever have. It still comes down to both ways.
Sure.
Call the same pitch for both sides.
And you see a lot of the pitches called strikes that you're disagreeing with here are still very close. In the old days, some of those pitches were 6-8 inches off the plate, and that's the big difference. That's the ball you can't control as a hitter. You can't put it in play.
I was watching a video of the '96 World Series. I was pitching against Glavine, Game 3. Actually, I think John Filippelli was in the truck doing the work down there, and they showed some overhead cams of some pitches that both Glavine and I got that were 6 to 8 inches off the plate.
It's tough to hit that way, man, because you have to dive out there to get it, which makes the inside corner almost impossible to cover.
If you've got an iPhone at home, back in the 70s, the strike zone, if you've got your iPhone straight up, that was the strike zone in the 70s. Now turn it on the side, and that was the strike zone in the 90s. And now they're trying to get it back to upright on your iPhone.
Now here's a look at the Yankees' upcoming schedule, brought to you by Fios. Visit getfios.com. One more game against the Astros. Remember, it's a 6:30 start tomorrow, Paul. And then the Yankees go on the road, 4 against Baltimore, all on yes. A doubleheader, making up a double rain out in Detroit. That's Monday, a 1:10 start and a 7:10 start. Then 2 games in Toronto, an off day, and then the first of the 2 Subway Series this year. The first one will be at Citi Field, starting on Friday night. Davis fouls it back.
Glavine used to throw that pitch, Paulie, and hold his pose about 6 inches out. Hey, where was that? You know?
Yeah. I know I'm getting this call, right?
I did too. I did too.
Grounded to Andujar, stumbles, fires to first, and he loses both plays. The stumble got him. First and second, one out.
Well, Gaddis gets a good jump, which takes the play away at second, and by that time, Andujar could not recover and get the ball across the diamond. He did kind of fall on that knee and then could not get it out of his glove.
And that scored a hit. Here is Marwin Gonzalez. Single to left center. His first time up. Pitch inside. So a walk and an infield single. And then a single to left center. Gaddis held up, but that ball's going to split the outfielders and go to the warning track. Scoring easily is Gaddis. Davis will score. It's a 2-run double for Gonzalez, and the Astros have retaken the lead. It's 3-2.
Gonzalez hammers one. I mean, just a ball right there. But again, how important of a cutter that stayed out over the plate. How important that play was, not getting a run here. And Gardner, I think possibly Hicks called it, and he was kind of refereeing out there telling him where to throw, but it did split the outfield.
Gardner wasn't going to get there, and he absolutely is telling Hicks where to throw the ball.
So here's Max Stassi now. 1-0.
Ball was absolutely smoked by Gonzalez, too. 103.3 miles an hour off his bat, and just split the gap.
1-1. Good ratio, strikes to balls, 65 pitches, 46 strikes. Yankees took 3 out of 4 from the Astros earlier in the year in Houston, and now a 3-game set here in New York. Astros won last night, or yesterday afternoon, a day game. Two and two. The hits are even at 6 apiece. Yankees have made an error, and the Astros have a 3-2 lead here in the 4th inning. You can't keep giving leads back against Charlie Morton because they're hard to get. When you give them back, you might not have an opportunity to take it back. Three and two. Tony Kemp on deck.
Once again, the bottom of the order. You really need this hitter and then the next one, Kemp, to avoid turning over the lineup again. See Sabathia signaling to Sanchez possibly the pitch he wants to throw here.
To another breaking ball, but you're not seeing a lot of swing and misses, Coney, which either, you know, he's really not missing his spots. He just doesn't have a sharp break on that cutter, either outside or in.
Fly ball right field. Judge makes the catch. And Gonzalez with the bluff.
I never understood what it was, but you always, after you make a play, and you just sit and want to talk. I used to sit and talk to Bernie. I talked to Bernie more between plays than I did in the locker room. It's just weird. You're out there playing, it's just all of a sudden, hey, let's have a little chat. We got an out here.
Get lonely out there, right?
I don't know. Oh, I had myself to talk to all night. No, there were a lot of things going on out there. You know how many at-bats I had out there during the game, Coney?
Yes.
When I should have been watching you pitch.
Pitch to Kemp is outside. 1-0.
I knew you'd get ready eventually.
It was all about timing.
It's hard not to take your at-bats out on the field, right? I mean, that's kind of, we joke about it, but it's really true. For a pitcher, it's forgetting about your mistakes, you know, inning to inning or in the middle of an inning. We talked about that with Domingo Germán yesterday. And, well, you make a mistake and hang one and give up a home run, that stays with you for a little while on the mound. And sometimes amnesia is the best thing you can have as a ball player. Just forget about it. There's plenty of time after the game to figure it out. The sooner you can get on to the next task, the better off you are. And for Sabathia here, he got a 2-0 count, and this is a guy you definitely need to get out, the 9-hole hitter. And on the pitch count, number 73 coming.
There's a strike, 2-1.
You see the big difference in CC Sabathia and a 2-0 count, a little breaking ball. You know, 5-6 years ago, that was 95 here. Let me challenge you, but what he has evolved, but he has that he has that knack to be able to throw strikes in those situations.
3-1. Springer on deck.
That's the pitch I've noticed he hasn't had, is that two-seamer in on lefties. He's kind of tugging it and not being able to really lock them up inside.
It's a big pitch for him as well.
Three and two.
I think CC heard you, Coney. He said, here, hey, this is a fastball right down the middle. I'm coming after you.
And he walks the number 9 hitter, and now has to deal with Springer. Now this is the beginning of the third time through the order for Sabathia as Larry Rothschild comes out, and you can see the numbers jump. 176 they hit against him first time, then 216, still not too bad. Third time 406. No one up in the bullpen right now.
A lot of times Mel Stottlemyre would come out in this situation. Nobody warming up. And, you know, you kind of look at what are you coming out for then? And Mel would be great. He'd say, no, just give you a little breather. You know, nothing big. You don't really want to talk about mechanics. Hey, you're doing this. Your hands are off. A guy like Sabathia doesn't want to hear anything. He's mad you're even out there. But, yeah, hey, just give you a little break here. Regroup. Get on the same page. How you want to go after this guy. Keep it simple, especially with a veteran pitcher on the mound, because he's irritated that you're even out there in the first place.
Do you usually know the first pitch when the catcher went back what you were going to start him out with, or you still want to go through the signs?
You could do that, yes, absolutely. You could talk. That may be the only reason for that meeting with, okay, what do you want to start him off with?
Oh, 0-1.
That's a dangerous spot right there against Springer. Kind of a hanging cutter. Just kind of stayed right there, and that's a good spot to hit.
One and one. Infield single to second base to lead off the game. Actually, a play that Gleyber Torres should have made, but he threw it away. They gave him a hit and then an E4, allowing Springer to move to second. Then he grounded to short in the third. 1-1. He could not hold up. 1-2.
A good pitch there. Really took something off of it. And, you know, you needed to get a strike outside the strike zone where you couldn't get hurt. And that's what he did.
So 1-2 on Springer. Gonzalez at second, Kemp is at first. Springer swings and misses, and Sabathia works out of further trouble. 2 runs, 2 hits, and 2 men left on base. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Strained finger ligament. Ronald Acuna Jr. 10-day DL, mild ACL sprain, back contusion, and it could have been worse. And Shohei Ohtani scheduled to start tomorrow against the Tigers, as Andujar grounds out to third on the first pitch. 1 away.
Yeah, I agree with you, Michael. That replay on Acuna, that looked nasty. And, you know, a young star in the making. Glad to see that it's a mild sprain. I'd like that 10-day disabled list. You know, you give teams the ability to get guys out for 10 days and get them back quick.
Here's Torres, and a strike. Torres with an RBI single to right field in the second inning. Yankees trail 3-2, bottom of the fourth to the Astros. 1-1.
Good changeup, and you know, Coney, the more I watch a good pitcher, I try to pick up on a little bit on tendencies and, you know, how they go about this count or that count, and you see him just really pull against that changeup. Morton has been all over as far as starting guys off with, ooh, that's a nasty breaking ball. Starting guys off with fastballs, going, you know, striking out with breaking ball. So there's really no set tendency or a rhythm, you know, that he gives you as a hitter.
It starts to give you a different look now as you roll over the lineup.
Waved at that one. Torres down on strikes.
Well, that's just a wicked break. I mean, you see right at the end. I mean, that ball is just gone.
Speaking of young infielders with great potential, you know what happened on this date in 1995?
Let me think. 1995. I do not.
Jeter, major league debut in Seattle. Starts at shortstop, bats ninth, 0 for 5 with a walk. Yankees lose 8-7 in 12 innings.
Is that right? Yeah, I didn't think I thought he was a September call-up. He
came up for an injury, yeah. There was an injury on the team, came up, and then went back down.
Came back up again, I think, when Tony Fernandez had an issue off the field. And actually, I think he went 2 for 2 that day, and then Tony Fernandez showed up middle of the game, and Buck took Jeter out of the game and put Fernandez in at short, and we were like, wait. Yeah. Leave Jeter in. I want to see some more of this kid.
You know, it's amazing how those short little spurts can really help a player. You come up for a week, then you go back down, and you do it a couple times, and you're much more at ease when you finally get that opportunity to start playing every day.
All right, now it's time for the truth machine.
Truth.
You see him. You saw him in spring training. Did you ever think that?
Gee?
Yeah.
That he's a Hall of Famer and like the icon in the New York Yankees?
Right.
I don't know if I saw that. I saw that he was going to be a really good player, and I loved his, you know, his tenacity is a hard word to put on Derek Jeter because he's so easygoing, and but he had it, and then he brought it. He was never afraid of any situation. That's what impressed me.
Yankees go down in order 1, 2, 3. We go to the 5th. D'Angelo Russell of the Nets here at the game.
You balled him up there, Coney?
Ooh,
No?
well, no part of that.
No?
Blow up my knee. I'll
Little
break my
quick-
ankles trying to
little-
guard
little
him.
quick for you?
Yeah.
The 1-0.
Did you see on YouTube now the ankle breaker moves? You see guys trying to guard him, and they do a crossover, and you go one way, and he goes the other, and twist both your ankles.
Ground ball to Andujar. Bad throw, pulls Bird off the bag. And Bregman will reach, likely on the E5. I can't say it definitively anymore. I have no idea what they're going to call.
Look, I can tell you that's an error. I mean, you could see his just whole body relax once he caught the ball and just good off throw. I'm starting to wonder if Greg Bird is getting out there too quick instead of reading the ball first, because right there, it's just total relaxation, and then like that, kind of lose concentration a little bit.
Bregman runs very well, too. Might have surprised Andujar right there.
Altuve fouls it away.
Miguel's got kind of a long, lanky throwing motion as well.
These are extra pitches for CC on a night that he has not been perfect, and he's battling a really good lineup. They give them extra outs.
Off the glove of Sabathia. Can't find it. Now he does. Fires into right field. Bregman will go to third. He'll stop right there as Altuve ends up at second.
Yeah, every once in a while, I think you're better off just holding this ball. There's no doubt it went away. I don't know if he's going to get him. That scored a hit. Right here, you knew bad things were going to happen. The worst thing that happened right there is CC got a glove on this. This is probably a double play ball right back up the middle.
And he can't find it.
This is probably an easy double play for Didi. You see him in the background. But it's a reaction play as a pitcher, Coney. You know as well as I do, is if it's coming at you, you throw your glove up at it.
Yeah, that's the reaction play. And a little bit of panic on the end of it to try to heave that throw.
There's a base hit for Gurriel. Bregman scores. Altuve advances to third. It's an RBI single for Gurriel, and it's 4-2 Astros.
I'll tell you what, Houston, you can tell they're relentless, man. They just keep coming after you, keep putting runners out there. Seems like every mistake that CC has made ends up in a hole somewhere.
I guess the phone of the bullpen not working, so now it rings.
Gonna have the iPhone coming out here in a minute.
Modern technology. It looks like a ham operator right now. Got to be a better way.
The old days where like you had like hand signals for everybody, and the bullpen coach would send out you a hand signal of who he wanted to get up.
Boy, there doesn't seem to be any urgency in the bullpen at all. Holder just threw his first pitch out there, and Willie just lightly tossing.
Got to change the batteries on the walkie-talkie.
It's a catch in the park here, huh?
1-2 on Gaddis.
Like a scene from Smokey and the Bandit, right? Burt Reynolds.
Oh, was that a good movie? I wanted a Trans Am after I saw that movie. I was only about 12. I still wanted a Trans Am. Kids even know what a Trans Am is anymore? It was like the sports car that was in Smokey and the Bandit. Boy, it was cool.
With the T-tops.
Oh.
You ever get one?
No.
You should get one for your 60th birthday.
I don't think they make them anymore, do they?
Buy an old one.
An old one?
Well, there's some
Collector?
classic ones. You talked to
Yeah.
Reggie about that. Reggie knows his cars.
I'm going to get you one for your next birthday.
It's coming up.
Fly ball deep center. Tagging is Altuve. The catch is made by Hicks. Throw comes into second. Altuve scores. Sac fly for Gaddis. And it's 5-2 Astros.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Gaddis has had good at-bats tonight. Home run, sacrifice fly here. Solid hitter. So not a lot of movement, but he still generates a lot of bat speed because he gets extensions. How far out in front of the plate he hits that ball. Would you say he has more hair on his face than his head there, Michael?
By a lot.
Yeah.
Two big-time beards right there.
That's some dedication down in Houston.
Wow.
It gets hot down there in the
Yeah, it
summer,
does.
boy.
I don't get the whole beard thing. I know it's a big thing now.
Runner goes, throw to second. A stolen base for Gurriel.
I think after CC launched that one into right field, I think you know as a base runner that he doesn't want to come over to first, and you kind of just cheat steal and just take off and dare him to throw. Gurriel with a really good jump.
Yeah, Sabathia normally has a slide step to home, but went with the leg kick there, trying to generate some stuff on the pitch, and Gurriel read it well. It's a tough inning to swallow out there. You know, there's some unforced errors. It's kind of a gift wrapped 2-run inning here so far in the fifth. And you can tell it just takes the wind out of your sails.
You can tell the last couple innings he's kind of laboring, trying to make those perfect pitches. And this lineup, they put solid bat together, and he has trouble putting guys away, and it just every ball hit seems to have found a hole.
Popped up high on the right side. Bird calls off Torreyes for the second out. And a strike.
See, the last thing Aaron Boone wants to do is go out there and get CC Sabathia. He wants to get him through this inning, probably obviously his last batter right here. And not an easy one to let him face, as Gonzalez has had good swings off of Sabathia tonight. This is just respect. Aaron Boone, respect for CC Sabathia at this point. Giving him one more chance just to get out of this inning.
Well, season high is 99. He's one away from that. Swing and a miss. Gonzalez down on strikes, but CC's defense didn't help him, including his own. 2 runs, 2 hits, 2 errors. Houston 5 and the Yankees 2. It'll be Judge, Bird, and Stanton against Charlie Morton. 3 errors for the Yankees. Certainly upped the pitch count total for CC Sabathia and played a big role in the 2 runs in the 5th inning as well. Drilled to right field. There it goes. See ya! A bullet the other way into the second deck. 5-3 Astros.
I'll tell you one thing, Aaron Judge makes solid contact and it's elevated. It makes Michael's job very easy. You know where it's heading, but he has had some good swings the last few days. This is a high fastball. And he does not get under the ball, stays right through it, and just an absolute bullet. Give it to me again, Michael. See you.
See ya.
Wow.
I mean, second deck the other way. Wow.
Like it's nothing.
Then it bounces back onto the field. Here's Greg Bird.
Aaron Judge's parents up in the booth tonight. They got to be happy to see that, huh? If they're superstitious, we'll see them again tomorrow.
Now this is doing damage, David, against Charlie Morton.
Absolutely. I mean, you still feel like you're in this game. You start looking at his pitch count, still in decent shape, but the unforced errors really, really stand out now.
Let's watch it on StatCast. 381 feet, 109.1 miles per hour. 3-0.
You know, it's funny to me, Michael, as you look at that ball and you wonder how really you could hit a ball any harder. I mean, he hit it the other way. That was 109, and we witnessed 119.9 earlier in this series.
A single.
Wow.
To right center. 3-2.
Earlier in the homestand,
yep.
Against Houston. See how I'm starting to correct myself like you, Michael? I felt guilty.
Love it.
Charlie Morton threw that pitch about 96 miles an hour. Judge hit it about 109 miles an hour. And on StatCast, it had a 99% hit probability.
Wow.
Go figure. How's that 99%?
And in what ballpark would that be caught? Where's the 1%?
I guess you could hit it that hard, but it could be a line drive at somebody. He just got it elevated. I don't know, but the chances are slim and none at 1%. Huh?
24-degree launch angle is just perfect.
It'd be fun to take BP with his power just one day, just to see where you could hit him. I used to tell Strawberry the same thing. It's just like, you realize how lucky you are to be able to hit balls like that? And I think Judge has much more power than Straw had. Straw just had that looping swing. But Aaron Judge, the force that he puts into the baseball, he stays behind, and that's just a high fastball that he stays through.
Making Morton work. At home this year, he's hit 12 of his 15 home runs, and he has 33 of his 40 ribbies, and both are most in the majors. This will be the 9th pitch of the at-bat to Greg Bird. Strike three, Bird down looking, and Bird not loving Trip Gibson's strike zone tonight.
Yeah, that's just a good pitch right there. And at 97, he's kind of looking up in the strike zone. Been pitching him up, and all of a sudden, boom, down low, right on the corner. It's a tough pitch to hit. What are you going to do?
Great shot from the side. You know, I love the, I've said it before, I love the angles. We can tackle the strike zone with our crew better than anybody in the big leagues. And we can give you the overhead cam. You'll have our box, the radar box in front. We can give you the side view.
We got a lot to offer, Coney.
Yeah. If you want to critique the strike zone, this is where you do it right here. We got everything covered here. That was barely the hollow of the knee based on the side camera. Trust but confirm. That box has some margin for error in front there. It's not perfect. Not to mention the human element of the home plate umpire.
You can see Stanton really struggling at the plate right now. He's 0 for 2, 0 for his last 14.
Much better swings on fastballs than breaking balls, which usually means you're getting out on your front foot. And when you get out on your front foot, you're actually going towards the baseball where you got to make up your mind a little bit too quick. You end up just kind of flailing at the breaking ball.
Grounded to first. Davis steps on the bag, 2 away. Morton's a different pitcher than he was with the Pirates. He said that with the Astros, they're not really big into contact. They want more swing and miss. The idea is that if hitters don't put the ball in play, there's less of a chance to get on. When I was in Pittsburgh, it was if you put the ball on the ground, there's less of a chance for it to be hit in a gap or over a fence. And you can see, before he got here, the numbers were not great. And there's been a couple of ticks on the velocity in terms of the fastball.
I was just going to ask Coney, how do you pick up 3 miles an hour? Is it going to be a delivery thing, a mechanics thing?
It's a grip thing. He was throwing a lot of two-seam fastballs and trying to manufacture movement, take velocity off of the pitch, go for movement. I went back and checked and looked at, on Fangraphs and his average velocity on his four-seam fastball. He actually averaged between 94 and 95 when he was with Pittsburgh. He just didn't throw it very much. He threw a lot of two-seamers and tried to manufacture movement, which took him down in the lower 90s. 90 to 92. So based on his four-seam history, he's actually gained about 2 miles an hour, maybe 3. This year he added another mile. So as you see there, this year at 96.3 miles an hour. In his Pittsburgh days, he was 94, 95 when he did throw his four-seamer. He's just been encouraged to throw it more, and that's the way you gain velocity. As you reach out further, you get more extension.
Wow. Well, it's fun and games when everybody's safe, but boy, that was an absolute rocket into the dugout.
Talk about out of the catcher's mitt.
Yeah.
What I don't understand about the Pittsburgh thing, though, David, what organization wouldn't want you to swing and miss, take another look at this one getting into the Yankee dugout? Just misjudge. Why wouldn't they want swing and miss?
Well, a lot of times it helps you on your pitch count, Coney. You get ground balls, you get out of the innings quick.
Popped up. Right side, long run for Davis. He's there to make the play. A little ice cream cone. And that'll do it. So Judge hits the home run. His 15th of the year, a bullet against the facing of the second deck and right. We've played 5 at the stadium and 5-3 for the Yankees is Jonathan Holder. Guys, Sabathia gave up 8 hits and 5 runs, but his defense did not help him today.
No, and that hurts. You know, that's something when you digest this after the game, but you really, man, wish I could have that back. Mm-hmm. You know, that should not have happened, but it does. It's part of the game.
Stassi with a fly ball to right, and that is out of play. And again, Morton's very tough, comes into the game with a 2.04 ERA. The Yankees have 3 runs against him and 2 home runs as well. So they have to feel good about what they've done so far against Morton.
You know, they put some at-bats together, and, you know, they have had the lead twice, and both times have given it up, obviously. But, you know, you're facing the world champions, an elite team. And, you know, if you make mistakes, chances are they're going to make you pay, which they have.
Popped up right side. Bird drifts into right field. Coming over is Judge. He makes the play in foul territory for the first out. So Aaron Boone makes the call to the bullpen, brought to you by Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. Sabathia is done after 5, and Holder is on to pitch the 6th.
No wonder it doesn't work. It's upside down, Paulie.
That's right. That cord's supposed to be down here.
There's Tony Kemp. Well, you got Kemp, who's 5'7", and Altuve, who's generously listed as 5'6". And what a testament that is that anybody could play the game of baseball. Your size will not disqualify you. You have a guy like Aaron Judge, for many years thought to be too big to play this game, and showing that he certainly can play this game. And Altuve, so height challenged, and he won the MVP. All he does is knock out 200 hit seasons. At the Baseball Writers Dinner, Stanton with his National League MVP and Altuve with his American League MVP, and you see the disparate sizes, but they both won the same award, just different leagues.
Altuve has become a real inspiration, Michael, to your point, to a lot of kids out there. Handles himself so well.
Yeah,
I mean, as the reigning MVP in the American League, baseball, very lucky to have an ambassador like Jose Altuve.
Two away as Hicks puts it away, and it's also a testament to stick-to-itiveness because he went to a tryout camp and was sent home. Too short, don't come back. And he came back the next day. He refused not to come back, and then it showed them some skills that they actually did sign him. But if he had just given up after they say go home and don't come back, he wouldn't be here. Same thing happened with Yankee legend, Hall of Famer, broadcaster player Phil Rizzuto, who was told try out of the Brooklyn Dodgers, go get a shoe shine box.
Wow.
Instead, he decided to go to Cooperstown. As Holder works a 1-2-3 inning here in the 6th. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Gregorius will lead off. (5-1) over Toronto, top of the 7th. Angels 6, Detroit 2, bottom of the 6th. Washington 3-2 over Baltimore, bottom of the 6th. Mets 3-0 over Atlanta, bottom of the 3rd. Minnesota and Kansas City, bottom of the 2nd, 0-0. Here's Gregorius. And he takes a breaking ball strike. Gregorius is 1 for 2. A strikeout and a hard single up the middle. DD is 7 for his last 76. Slice hard the other way into the seats.
You know, you'd much rather think as a hitter that, you know, you're like 3 for your last 5. You've got to Coney was talking earlier about forgetting things. You know, your last at bat was a really good one. Let's build on that one.
Line drive, a base hit over the leaping try of Bregman. So 2 hits yesterday, 2 more hits today for Didi.
Continually up the middle now, and it's really starting to pay off. See, not trying to do anything other than meet the ball and where it's pitched. Good fortune this ball wasn't caught, but it was hammered.
One left-hander in the bullpen for the Astros, and that's Tony Sipp. He's warming right now.
And that is definitely the formula with the Astros, is get their starters out of the game, preferably sooner rather than later.
92 pitches for Morton.
The theory, Paulie, about 5 years ago, maybe even 10 years ago with general managers, and even when Morton was in Pittsburgh, was ground balls. We want pitchers throwing ground balls because you can't hit homers, less damage. But I think what we found is a turnaround in philosophy, and now they like 4-seam guys more, especially in rotations. You see Will Harris is going to join Tony Sipp to go double barrel in the Houston bullpen, but from your starting pitchers, I think you're starting to find.
Looks like Gregorius might have hurt himself. He remained down for a while when he made the dive into first.
Get another look.
Could have been a cup situation.
Yeah, I mean, the pitcher tells you everything you need to know. And just to finish that point, I think what we found, and with Charlie Morton, is the more you throw 4-seam fastballs, the more velocity you're going to get, the more extension you're going to get. And that's how he has jumped up in his velocity.
High fly ball, right field. Springer back on the track. He's there. He makes the play. Hicks just missed as Gregorius goes back to first.
Well, we're so close right here from having a 5-5 game. And Hicks put a good swing on it. Let's see if it just sunk enough to get off the end of the bat. Yep. Everything right. You just don't quite square it up. Springer letting Kemp know, as an outfielder, you just keep calling and calling and calling until you hear those footsteps stop.
Whatever was bothering Didi, Morton's going to make it worse by throwing over there.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising because it's really not a running situation in a 5-3 game. We saw Aaron Hicks almost tied this up with one swing.
On Andujar. 1-1.
Pretty good effort. I mean, he didn't really have time to get his body in front of it, so really good glove work there. Stazzy's got a good reputation. His pitchers like throwing to him. His framing numbers and look pretty good so far, even though he's got a small sample size. He rates out very well at being able to retain strikes in the strike zone and steal a few. relatively a new metric, Paulie, but you know, catchers, we've known it for years. The ones who frame well, receive the ball well, and I used to throw to a guy, you know, Charlie O'Brien, who we knew, but I know this guy's getting me strikes, but there's no way to quantify it. Well, now we have a way.
Breaking ball, strike 3, and Duhar down looking. Boone did not like the pitch.
You know what, every once in a while as a manager you see a young player, and right there, I mean, this ball looks like it's high. You know, you've got to stick up for him, and you would intentionally argue while the guy's coming back, so you know that, you know, your manager is on your side, and it means a lot as a player. It means less when you walk back and you know that pitch was a ball.
Torres takes outside, 1-0. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Astros 5, Yankees 3. 5-8-0 for Houston, and 3-8 and a big 3 for the Yankees. Torres 1 for 2 with an RBI single to right center in the 2nd. Chad Green's up in the Yankee bullpen. Holder worked a scoreless 6th inning. CC gave him 5 innings. High fly ball, center field. Kemp back. He has plenty of room out there, and will make the play on the lip of the warning track for the final out of the inning. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We're going to the 7th inning, 5-3. So 8 hits for Houston. Altuve has 2. Gonzalez has 2. See how it breaks down throughout the lineup. And we'll go to the 7th inning with the Astros leading 5-3. Holder in for his 2nd inning of work. Worked a 1-2-3 6th. He deals to Bregman. 1-0. Bregman reached on a throwing error by Andujar that started that 2-run 5th inning, which is now the difference in the game. And a strike. You have a throwing error by Torres in the 1st. You have the throwing error by Andujar in the 5th. You have a throwing error by CC following the Andujar error. And those are just extra pitches that a pitcher has to throw. Check swing, looper into right field, and excuse me, base hit for Bregman. Well, Morton finished up 6. Put the sweatshirt on, and Dallas Keuchel celebrating with him. So that'll do it as the Astros will try to get 9 outs out of the pen.
True bro hug right there, right?
It's like a pitcher, you know, you give Charlie Morton a lot of credit. A great start of his season, but I think he feels like he knows he got away with a couple that last inning.
A couple warning track shots that could have tied the game.
And this is a hot night. Usually those fly a little more.
Yeah, summer showed up for a day. I think it's gone again tomorrow, though. Nice and cool.
One 0. 1-1.
No, all joking aside, you talk about, you know, Altuve's size, Judge's size. You imagine that, you know, hitting as good a hitter as Altuve is, the strike zone that he needs to cover compared to the strike zone that Aaron Judge needs to cover. You know, it's a big, big difference.
So we'll use our electronics again. So Aaron Judge has to cover a big iPad.
Yeah.
And Altuve has to cover an iPhone.
Yeah, I like that comparison. Absolutely. There's more low pitches called on Aaron Judge than any other player in the big leagues.
Fly ball, right field. Judge backs up. Makes the play in front of the track, one away.
No, but when he comes to the plate, you expect him to hit it hard somewhere. I mean, he's going to get his hacks in. He's going to hit it hard somewhere.
There's a strike.
Coney, back to your point. I mean, he has been calling it all night. That ball up in the strike zone.
He likes that ugly looking high curve, doesn't he? But if you look at Jonathan Holder's season, you know, and it's the life of a reliever, you know, how you break it down, because one or two bad outings can skew the whole thing. But he's really had 2 outings where he gave up all of his earned runs. And on an extended run here through May. Several scoreless outings in a row. Back in April 3rd and April 6th, he had back-to-back outings where he gave up 7 runs, 6 earned runs. And his last 15, nothing. So overall, you know, we saw when he came in that, you know, his ERA's 3.31 before this game. You kind of get the feeling Aaron Boone, he likes it. Jonathan Holder, I mean, what's not to like? I mean, when you're a new manager, you're learning your bullpen, you develop your own circle of trust, and Aaron Boone likes Jonathan Holder, and for good reason. 17 strikeouts in those 15 and 2/3 innings pitched with no earned runs and only 6 hits given up. It's a pretty extended run. Good pitching.
The 0-2. Chop toward Torres. He boots it, and that'll be a second error. He was thinking 2, and he doesn't get 1.
These are plays. It has been shoddy defense tonight for the Yankees, and again, we get the sure out off his hand, off the heel of the glove.
You can almost see him peeking at the runner right there. He kind of looked up just a bit at Bregman, thinking ahead, got ahead of himself. He knows it. A quizzical look from Aaron Boone, too. Been one of those nights, you know, you really feel like you have given some gifts to the Astros, and those are hard to swallow. It happens, but it doesn't make it any easier to accept.
This is the guy you don't want to give at bats to, too. Gaddis has had good ones. We talked about it earlier. Holder above the strike zone in 93.
Oh, and 2 on Gaddis. Gaddis is some story, man. Top high school prospect in 04. Supposed to play at Texas A&M. Instead, he went to rehab for alcohol and marijuana. Didn't go to school. Spent 3 months in a halfway house in Arizona. Struggled with anxiety and depression. Enrolled at Oklahoma Seminole Junior College. Dropped out. Odd jobs around the country. Parking valet, ski lift operator, janitor, meter reader, worked at a golf club, and then he decided to go back to baseball. And in his debut, he hit a home run off Roy Halladay.
Come to think of it, you ask what today was, and it was Derek Jeter. Today, Roy Halladay threw a perfect game, I think, today in this day in history.
Swing and a miss. Gaddis down on strikes.
You figure out how to get Gaddis out. That's not throwing strikes outside the strike zone.
Four-seamer. Right at the letters.
Yeah.
Here's J.D. Davis. Snap throw to second, goes into center field. Both runners get up and move to their advanced base. So that's an error on Gary Sanchez. 5 errors by the Yankees in this game.
Well, let's see if he even had a chance here, and it was all. I don't know. Probably not. That's a ball right there. If you're Torres, you know, you actually have to just go in front of the runner and kind of block it as a catcher, especially when you realize you're not going to have a chance. Aaron Boone, ex-infielder, knowing how important it is not to make these errors. You know, you're on an even playing field with a really good team. You give them 5 extra outs. That's a lot.
High fly ball, deep left center. Hicks back, still back, and he makes the play on the track for the final out of the inning. So the Yankees survive the shaky defense. No runs, a hit, 2 more errors, and 2 men left on base. At the end of 6.5 innings of play, it's time for the 7th inning stretch, and the Yankees are trailing 5-3, but we'll stay right here as we honor America in the Bronx.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise and offer a moment of silent prayer as we remember the servicemen and women who are serving our country at home and around the globe. Thank you. Now, please join in Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America.
Or should I say 2 for Gardner, 1 home run for Judge and a walk, a double for Bird, 2 singles for Didi. So 2 straight days with 2 hits for Gregorius as he tries to bust out of his slump. A double and a run scored for Andujar and an RBI single for Gleyber Torres. So the Yankees knock out Morton, and Hinch makes the call to the bullpen, brought to you by Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. And they bring in their lone lefty out of the bullpen, Tony Sipp, and he will face Brett Gardner.
Well, big inning for the Yankees, getting in the Houston bullpen. You see Tony Sipp, 13 games.
Going to be one of those grind out at bats that Brett Gardner's famous for right here. He knows his role right here.
They made some changes. They moved Gonzalez to short, Bregman to third, Gurriel goes to first, Marisnik in center, and Kemp moves over to left. Feels like spring training.
It's probably their best defensive alignment. Marisnik excellent in the outfield. Bregman's a shortstop playing third. Even though they don't have the regular shortstop out there, within what they have to work with, this gives A.J. Hinch the best chance to catch the baseball.
Count 1-2 on Gardner. A home run and a single. And the pitch. Ground ball. Will it get through? Grabbed by Gonzalez, but no chance to get Gardner, who picks up his third hit. A leadoff single here in the 7th.
I almost said, Michael, when you said to get through, it doesn't need to. You get an infielder moving more than a few steps. Brett Gardner's speed will be safe. Good at bat by Brett Gardner.
So they are not going to gamble and have Sipp pitch to Judge for Bird on deck. They go to the righty. Charlie Morton went 6, struck out 10, walked 1. Gave him a couple of home runs, though. Brett Gardner and Aaron Judge solo shots. CC Sabathia battled through 5 and some bad defense behind him. Here's Joe Smith, his 20th game. Signed a 2-year, $15 million deal with the Astros in December. So Smith against Judge.
Smith, a definite matchup to righties with his delivery. He's going to go through murderer's row here.
Went to Wright State University, and his coach wanted a sidearm reliever. Asked for volunteers, and Joe raised his hand. And that's how it started.
This is where Bird being on deck is so important. You know, you can break up just the continuous right-handed hitters with Sanchez, Stanton, and Judge. Put Bird right in the middle of that.
Joe is married to Allie LaForce, who you see during the NCAA tournament at CBS and Turner Sports.
You see, hitters usually have a toe tap, but there's the pitcher's version of a toe tap and then a delivery.
Fouled away.
Wright State, that's right up the road in Dayton, Ohio.
He's from Cincy.
Yeah. Oh, is he right?
Yeah.
Toe tap and go.
Almost gathers your weight where you have to fall forward, huh?
Just gives him a little time to get down low with that arm angle.
David, you went Laredo. How come you didn't use it more?
For me, as a starting pitcher, it was more about the element of surprise. The more I used it, the less effective it became. But for Smith, it's his style. You know, and he's only going to be a 1 inning, maybe 2 inning guy. I only used it against right-handed batters as well. I rarely used it against a left-handed hitter.
One-two on Judge. Homered to right field his last time up, his 15th of the year. And he swings and misses, strikes out against Smith, one away.
That's when Smith can be tough, when he actually gets the ball to come back in. And you look at the pitch by pitch, you see everything kind of breaking away. That was a pitch that he got away with. And then all of a sudden, he hammered him inside.
Now, sometimes sidewinders have trouble against the opposite batter. Let's see what he has for Bird.
Good velocity on Judge there. Rarely do you see a guy throw sidearm that can get it up to 90 with that kind of movement. A really good pitch from Smith on Judge.
And a strike.
It's not a strike. These are tough at bats on Bird. Again, I mean, he's argued a few times, but he had the right to. These pitches are questionable. You know, we saw a stat the other day, Coney, with Richards when he was pitching with Anaheim. You don't think strike one means anything? Hitters were hitting 100, 150 when it was 0-1, and they were hitting over 400 when it was 1-0. So that first pitch means a lot.
Smith, 12th big league season. He's 34 years old. This is his 6th team. Originally drafted by the Mets in the 3rd round. Runner goes. Foul back. Gardner had that stolen.
Yeah, he sure did, but with a strike already in the count, Bird can't take another one. Got a good pitch to hit, too.
And a good swing. It's not just about the stolen base there. The fact that Gardner's on the move. If Bird finds a gap, Gardner easily scores.
3 infielders right side for Bird. Runner goes again. And a ground ball softly to the right side. And they get Bird for the 2nd out as Gardner advances to 2nd.
Bird's got to be frustrated, not at himself, but at the umpire. Seems like he's been hitting in a hole all night. Kind of smothered this ball, but by Brett Gardner moving, he was almost able to find a hole.
It's actually a good adjustment by Gonzalez. His responsibility was to cover the bag, and he stopped and reversed direction to make that play.
Here's Stanton now with 2 outs. Runner at 2nd base. Stanton's 0 for 3. Grounded right back to Smith, who comes in and does a really good job. Strikeout and 2 ground balls. And the crowd boos Stanton as he comes off the field. Yankees.
That looks fake, Michael.
Cosmos Moon.
Somebody just stuck that on, like just stuck that on the camera lens. It doesn't look like it belongs.
Like a thumbtack.
Nice.
David Robertson.
What kind of moon was it?
A Cosmos Moon.
What does that even mean?
I was told that in my ear. You'll have to ask them.
Moonstruck.
From Moonstruck, yeah.
Oh, see, we're going film on me. My bad. I thought we were in the science department.
Robertson deals to Gonzalez. And the pitch is low, 1-0. Gonzalez does not have a real position with the Astros. He plays them all. And Hinch considers Gonzalez an everyday player. He's going to show up somewhere in the lineup every day.
You know, you look at Gonzalez, Coney, and I mean, do you pick this up as a pitcher? I mean, where he has his hands. Physically impossible for him to hit the ball up in the strike zone. I mean, his hands are so low that, you know, he just wants to drop the head on a low pitch. More so from the left side than the right.
You definitely want to test him up and in. Find out what he's going to do with the ball on his hands.
Also, Paul, you notice his front foot is completely pigeon-toed toward the back. What is that doing for him?
Well, you know, you always as a hitter are trying to keep that front shoulder and hip in there. And by closing it off, you know, you kind of keep it as one and keep it closed.
And he goes down on strikes against Robertson.
We talked about Robertson lately not being as sharp. But, you know, if you look at what hitters have hit under 200 off of this guy all year. See a big high leg kick, raise his hands a little bit, but then it's got to have a little uppercut.
A little bit of a foul tip there that Sanchez was able to hold on to.
Stassi swings and misses. Hector Rondon is up for the Astros. 1-2.
Tony, I see you looking through Robertson. How many career years? This guy's had a really long, extended, good career.
A really good career. Under the radar.
How many years has he been in the big leagues?
That one is wrapped into left center field. It's a base hit, and it splits the outfielders, and it rolls to the wall. Stassi will stop at second with a double. He was on the 2009 championship team, so we know he's at least been around that long.
I was also looking at his game logs, the life of a reliever. You know, sometimes there's 3 or 4 outings out of 15 or 20 that you give up runs in. If there's multiple runs, that could skew your numbers. And David Robertson this is his 610th game of his career. 133 saves, 611 innings. He's got 810 strikeouts. And quietly, a really good career. A career 1.16 whip, 1.16 whip, which is outstanding. Opposing hitters have hit 207 off of him in his career.
Yeah,
So
Michael,
yes, you're right, Paulie. It's a long, nice career he's had.
Started in 2008, so 11 years, 2.90 ERA. And there's a strike to Tony Kemp, the number 9 batter in the lineup. Now playing left field, started in center.
The blip on the screen for David Robertson, the last 5 or 6 appearances has been control. Fallen behind a little bit, just a little bit off here and there. In the month of May, 7 walks in 9 innings.
And Kemp down on strikes.
Robertson, another one of those guys that has different breaking balls. This is the sharp breaking ball down on the back foot of a left-handed hitter. Very effective when you're ahead in the count. Another big at bat. George Springer, tough out. Can't give up any more runs. Got 6 outs left. You got to wonder if Giles pitched yesterday, and he also pitched the day before in Cleveland, where he gave up that 4 spot. If he's available tonight for Hinch.
Two and one. Springer, 28 years old, from New Britain, Connecticut. Went to UConn. And he was the World Series MVP last year. 5 homers, 8 runs scored in 7 games against the Dodgers. Hit .379. Swing and a foul ball to stay alive.
A really high quality breaking ball from David Robertson. You can see the bottom drop out of it. And Sanchez barely off the end of his glove. Almost held on to it.
Sanchez will lead off the bottom of the inning. Sanchez, Gregorius, and Hicks. The 2-2. Fouled away.
Kind of a new school roster construction or lineup construction, Paulie, since Springer's been in the leadoff hole. He's a guy that would have batted third or fourth in years past. But he's really taken off.
Did he go? No, he did not. That's Chad Whitson at first. Crew chief Brian Gorman at second. Adrian Johnson at third. High fly ball, left field, backing up. Gardner, he's there, puts it away. Another scoreless inning for the Yankee relievers. We go to the bottom of the 8th.
Flower moon, because when it happens in May, the flowers are finally growing. And go figure this, it's the best time to go fishing, too.
I'm going to get right on that.
You and your cane pole.
Here's Hector Rondon as Sanchez fouls out the first pitch at the bottom of the 8th.
Nice little nugget I gave you, though, wasn't it?
Very nice. You dig that up yourself?
No. A little help. Phone a friend.
Paul said it. He's been struggling on that pitch.
Yeah, and you can tell it's all in his body. The movement of his front side is just opening up for that breaking ball because you have to make your decision too quick by opening up. The good news is Gary Sanchez can fix this in a swing, and it's just to make up my mind, like Didi is, to go up the middle, go the other way a few times.
Betances up in the Yankee pen. And the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Sanchez now 0 for 4 and 1 for his last 18. And he's hearing some boos.
See, front side out on the front foot. And just nothing behind that ball. Just kind of wailing and whiffing at it. A quick adjustment, but it takes some time to figure out, hey, I'm going to give a bat away and just go for a single up the middle. Hitters these days don't want to not be able to hit every ball out of the ballpark.
See, pitchers smell blood too. They know it. They see it, and they're going to get a steady dose of sliders until he does make that adjustment.
Didi just saw 99 off the outside corner for strike 1. This is a tough night to hit. Strike zone has definitely been in the pitcher's wheelhouse.
Seen several borderline calls go the pitcher's way.
0-2. Always remember something that Wade Boggs told me a long time ago. He always used to complain about John Hirschbeck's strike zone. And I said to him one day, I made a mistake. I said, well, Wade, if you know it's going to be a big strike zone, why don't you just widen your strike zone? He looked at me, oh, that's okay, Mike. Yeah, I'll do that. I've been learning the strike zone since I was 6 years old. I'm going to change it now.
For one day.
For one guy.
That's one way to send Boggsy on a rant. That's for sure. He's a pretty easy guy to get going. That's for sure.
And I understood what he was saying. I mean, he's learned the strike zone his whole life, and for this one day, you're going to widen it.
Did you walk away from that conversation and say, God, that was a dumb thing to say?
No, because I had a story that I'm telling on the air 27 years later.
Shell-shocked at the time, though. Still using it, though. Keep it in your holster.
I used to love talking pitching and hitting with Boggs and Clemens because they would go off on these calculus theories, and I'd like to. If I could get one nugget out of it, I'd be thrilled. Swing and a miss. Gregorius down on strikes.
Well, Rondon's got good stuff, and this one's kind of a backup slider. Stays up and away. The Didi kind of flails that a bit. But we saw Hunt 99 on the velocity. Pretty good differential, and 86 on that breaking ball we just saw.
Well, it wasn't too long ago when Aaron Hicks was up and on first base, and he just missed tying this game up.
Fly ball to center. Marisnik is there, and the Yankees go down in order here in the 8th inning. We're going to the 9th at the stadium. Astros 5, Yankees 3. 5-error game since July 21st of 2014. They've only had 2 of those games in the last 10 years. And they're still in this one, down by 2 as they go to Dellin Betances to pitch the 9th. Last time they had a 6-error game was October 1st, 1989, and that was against Detroit. One-0 to Bregman. Fouled away, right side, 1-1. Well, that was 97 miles an hour. The high-speed pitch. And it comes from Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above. Chris Davinsky will try to close this out for the Astros. So Paul was right. Giles, they will not use him for a 3rd day in a row.
You see Hinch not doing anything different. You think a bigger series, you're playing a good team, you might do some things different. Still give his star shortstop Gray his day off. Not using your closer, realizing, that these are important games. But the long haul of the season is much more important.
Bregman today is 1 for 4. Reached on an E5 single to right and scored a run. Bregman works a walk.
Sometimes you'll see Dellin go to that curveball 3-2. Tugged a fastball at 100. Wasn't able to find the strike zone. Now you got to face Altuve with a man on first.
Runner goes. Throw to second. It goes into center field. But Bregman will stay right there. So a stolen base for Alex Bregman.
Sanchez got rid of it quick, and it looks like if the ball stays in Torres' glove that he might have him. This is almost a given that they're going to test Dellin Betances.
Needed to be a perfect throw to get Bregman.
Yeah.
We know Dellin Betances has got a big leg kick, slow to home plate. Got to watch Bregman at second base as well. That's why Torres has got to stay close to the bag right now.
3-0. And a walk to Altuve to bring up Gurriel with runners on first and second.
Aaron Boone looks out there and realizes Dellin Betances, if he fixes it quick, you know, he has the ability to strike out hitters. But you hate to see, you know, one of your relievers dig themselves a hole by back-to-back walks.
You can see the way Boone has been using the bullpen of late, that Betances has ascended back to a very important role. He seemed to have worked out many of his issues, but again here they resurfaced with 2 walks and a stolen base already. Swing and a miss. But pitches like that keep you coming back. Chasen Shreve is up. One and 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
I think that's how you tell the pitcher you got crossed up now. Instead of a mound visit, you see Gary Sanchez looking for the breaking ball, handcuffed by a 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
So now he does go out to the mound. So joining Davinsky out there is Brad Peacock. Don't know if he's just getting some throwing in. And they are counting that as a mound visit. Breaking ball strike. And down goes Gurriel. One away.
These are the swing and misses you'll see out of the strike zone if you're Dellin Betances and you're ahead in the count. Gurriel really set this up by swinging at a pitch outside the strike zone, pitch 1. It really looked like Dellin relaxed, knowing he had make a few good pitches to get an out.
That's exactly what happens when you're on the mound.
Here's Evan Gattis. Couple of runs scored, couple of ribbies, pitch away. He is not throwing his breaking ball tonight for strikes. It's dropping out of the strike zone. Count 1-0.
Other times when you see Dellin and he's really nasty, his breaking ball is more up and down, sharp. Now it seems to be really going sideways, where it's very hard to control when you throw it that hard.
Does seem like the distraction of the base runners forces Dellin to quicken up his tempo a little bit. Normally a big high leg kick and a long arm delivery with nobody on base.
And they turn 2. There's one on to first. Not in time. Good scoop by Bird. 2 away.
The ball off the end of the bat, but we'll see here. Gaddis got down the line, but you would assume that this off the bat was going to be a double play. He gives him a good feed.
Just hit a little too softly, and you can see foot hits the bag before ball hits the glove. Gaddis did run better than we thought. Got down there. But off the end of the bat, hit too softly.
And here's Marisnick, came in for defense in the 7th inning. And there's a strike. This is the spot where J.D. Davis was penciled in. Marisnick has had problems offensively. He was actually sent down. You see the numbers, hitting 153 in 38 games this year.
The big opportunity for Dell. Every time he goes out and something good happens, he's going to be closer and closer to who he is. And now, after walking the first 2 guys, he's 1 pitch from getting out of this inning.
Well, you said it, Paul. You got that 1 out. Then you could just see him relax. His whole tempo slowed down.
Runner goes. Strike 3. Betances strikes out Marisnick and works out of a jam. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Do the Yankees have a rally in their bones? Miguel Andujar will start it off. Then Gleyber Tate in that ballpark as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Chris Davinsky will try to close it off. And Miguel Andujar leads off. First pitch outside. 1-0. Yankees down by 2. The closer Ken Giles has worked 2 days in a row, so now they go to Davinsky, who is 2 for 2 in save opportunities. 25 strikeouts in 20 2/3 innings pitched. 8-9-1 in the Yankee order. There's a strike.
We saw Davinsky also in this series, how he just falls off to the first base line. Good changeup, and he just kind of jumps at you. First pitch 96, pretty good fastball too.
2-1 to Andujar. Yankees need a base runner to bring up the tying run. Charlie Morton started, and then it's Tony Sipp, Joe Smith, Hector Rondon, and now Chris Davinsky. CC Sabathia started for the Yankees, and that's where all the runs were scored over the first 5 innings, 5 runs. The bullpen's done a good job. Holder 2 scoreless innings, Robertson a scoreless inning, and Betances a scoreless inning, giving the Yankee offense a chance. Here's the 3-1, and he walked him. So that brings a tying run to the plate.
And also, if everything goes right, it's going to bring Aaron Judge to another at bat.
Just the 6th walk this year for Miguel Andujar. Picked a good time for that one, leading off the 9th.
Here's Torres, an RBI single, has made a couple of errors in the field. And knee buckling curveball for a strike right there, 0-1. Altuve shades up the middle for Gleyber Torres. And right before that pitch was delivered, Marisnick in center took 2 giant leaps toward right center, thinking that Torres could drive the ball that way, as he's wont to do.
See, definitely playing no doubles, how deep they are, nothing over their head, meaning that you don't want the tying run on second base.
97-mile-an-hour fastball, 1-2.
I'll tell you what, this strike zone is really, really making it difficult for the Yankee hitters. And that's 97, and it's off the plate away.
One, 2. Swing and a miss. 1 away. Let's see how they attacked Gleyber Torres, David.
Well, Davinsky's got some funky stuff, and you're right, Michael. That one on the inside was A knee buckler, the changeup away, the fastball. There's the call that changed the at-bat. And then a really good slider right off of that previous call that just tunneled right in the same zone. Hard to lay off of that when you get the previous pitch called to strike.
And barring a double play, as Paul mentioned, Aaron Judge will get into bat. And there's a strike. 3 more hits for Gardner today as he has the average up to 251. Led off the first inning with a home run. Judge a home run in the 5th inning. The pitch. High fly ball, right field. Springer back. He's on the track. He leaps. See ya. Tie game.
Tell you what you want to do when you're a team at home. All you want to do is give an opportunity to tie a game with a huge home run. Guys that are put in positions that aren't closers sometimes have trouble. Andujar works a walk, and Brett Gardner just gets enough of this one to tie this game.
A humongous home run for Brett Gardner and the Yankees. Here's Aaron Judge. Game tied at 5. Breaking ball strike.
Well, Coney, you were talking earlier about Brett Gardner. He goes through these times where he really becomes a legitimate power hitter, and he's going through one of those streaks right now.
1-1.
A high fastball, and he stayed on top of it. And you talk about wishing something over the wall. Springer there just can't get it.
Base hit inside first. That'll go into the corner. Judge rounds first. He'll go to second. Springer digs it out, and Judge has himself a double. He's in scoring position with the winning run.
I'll tell you what, why is Aaron Judge a better hitter at times now than he was last year? And you'll see in this swing right now, because he doesn't try to pull everything. Stays on this ball and just shoots it the other way. Earlier in the game, home run to right field. And I'll tell you one thing, Houston got lucky. This ball didn't get by. Judge ends up at third base. A big opportunity here for Greg Bird.
Bird doubled to left in the first inning and then struck out looking twice, and a ground ball is short in the 7th. So 1 for 4. Judge leads off second, 1 man out. Breaking ball misses outside, 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1-1.
The good thing is Bird has seen the changeup now, 2 of them. So in the count, it's not like you're behind and you have not seen it yet. He can handle that ball away.
One, 1-2. You saw that the Yankees have 4 wins when trailing after 8 innings. That's the most in the American League. And we're at the end of May.
Second time they've come back against this Houston bullpen as well.
Swing and a miss. And Bird down on strikes. And that'll bring up Giancarlo Stanton.
Well, he had 3 consecutive changeups, and then he finished him off at 96.
Number 27.
You know, a way to get rid of all those boos. A tough pitch to stay on when you haven't seen it. For Stanton, does he get a big hit right here? Boy, he'll go home with a lot of friends.
0 for his last 16. He's 0 for 4 tonight. The winning run is at second base. It's a 5-5 game, bottom of the ninth. The pitch misses outside. 1-0. Gary Sanchez is on deck. As Paul mentioned, a big chance for a big Yankee moment for Stanton. Drops a breaking ball in there for a strike. 1-1.
Gardner went up there looking for a pitch to drive and got it. Now it's on Stanton.
Chopped slowly to short. A base hit for Stanton. Moving to third is Judge.
Well, it's not your big hit, but it is a hit, Coney. You just kind of pass the baton here. Hopefully Gary Sanchez can stay on one here. Good bare hand play. Stanton gets down the line pretty quick as a big guy. Gurriel does a good job keeping that ball in front of him. This ball gets by him. Game over.
So an infield single for Stanton. Judge moves to third. That'll bring up Sanchez, who's 0 for 4 tonight with 2 strikeouts, 1 for his last 18. And a big spot for him. Puts a lot of pressure on Stassi now with the winning run at third base to block any pitch in the dirt.
That's a good point, Michael, as Davinsky does have that changeup and slider that he does throw down.
And the pitch. And that pitch has bedeviled Sanchez for the last 4 or 5 games. The history against Davinsky is not good. 0 for 4, 4 strikeouts.
A big hole on the right side. You can take one of those change-ups and just flare it over there. Anywhere in here. Game over.
Oh, and 2.
Davinsky on the other strikeouts has been changeup, then high fastball out of the strike zone.
And the 0-2. A very weak strikeout by Gary Sanchez, but the Yankees give us free baseball because of that man. Well, Brett Gardner's had himself a night, and now that night just got longer as the Yankees go into extra innings. Gardner with 4 hits, 2 home runs. And his home run in the 9th inning tied the score at 5. So the Yankees now bring in Aroldis Chapman to face the bottom of the Astros order. Chapman 11 out of 12 in save opportunities. This is not a save opportunity. They just want him to put a 0, give him a chance in the bottom of the 10th. Although Gary Sanchez, a top flight hitter, Paul, that was not a good at bat. He did not seem like he had a plan at all.
Yeah, no adjustments. Obviously, Davinsky was not going to give in and give him something inside. 3 consecutive changeups outside the strike zone. And again, until you show, that you will go the other way, this whole front side's coming off the baseball, and it's just absolutely no chance of covering that ball, especially off-speed stuff, away.
Grounded to short. Nice hop there for Gregorius. He sets and gets Gonzalez one away. And David, you said earlier, a pitcher smells blood. They know what's going on there, not giving him anything to hit.
Nothing, and he's the one who's going to have to adjust because pitchers will not give in at this point. When you start seeing at-bats like that, almost non-competitive at-bats, that's when pitchers are just, you can keep throwing it till he proves he's going to adjust.
Now Ken Giles is up for the Astros in their bullpen. So they are willing to use him for a third straight game as Max Stassi takes a strike.
Now I'm confused, Mike.
I guess they were trying to stay away from him, and now they feel they have to go to him. Although Peacock's up as well. Peacock could give you more length. Stassi swings and misses 0-2.
A.J. Hinch likes Davinsky against his left-handed batters. He feels like he's almost like a left-handed reliever because of his changeup, and he got beat on a fastball to Brett Gardner. Give Gardner credit. It was at the top of the zone or above.
Swing and I guess a foul ball that Sanchez could not hold on to.
Lost in that big inning. Charlie Morton was just getting ready to rack up 8-0 to start the season.
Astro bullpen did not do well when the Yankees were in Houston taking 3 out of 4. From that point until the game Sunday against the Indians, they were lights out. Then they blew the big lead against the Indians. They saved yesterday's game. And tonight, they could not hold on to a lead. Swing and a miss. Couldn't hold up on the slider. Stassi down on strikes.
Chapman has been featuring off-speed stuff at times. You see a slider that you've seen 102 for a couple pitches. Very hard to lay off. If you're Kemp, you've got to be thinking, wow, this is my start, and I end up some tough at-bats early, and now I get to face Chapman from the left side.
Bottom of the 10th inning for the Yankees, Gregorius, Hicks, and Andujar. And if anybody gets on, Torres.
Tell the weather's getting a little warmer. Chapman's starting to sweat at 103. He's starting to get loose.
Just missed outside. What's frustrating about Trip Gibson's strike zone is that half of those pitches just off the plate are strikes, and then the other half aren't. A pitcher and a hitter have no clue. It's just at his whim.
He's had a tough night. No two ways about it.
Three and 0.
Tony, let me tell you a little secret right here. Kemp is up there thinking, throw a ball. Throw a ball here.
Yes.
I'll jog down to first like I'm disappointed I walk, but I'll be ecstatic.
And a strike at 101 miles an hour.
Gonna have to do that 2 more times.
Yeah. Definitely taking one here. If I'm hitting, boy, I'll tell you one thing. What are you going to get? A pitch to drive when you're facing Chapman and you're Kemp with good speed? A walk's as good as a base hit.
Good little trick there. He stepped out right when Chapman was ready to throw. Called timeout.
And he walked. He didn't try to fake it, Paul. He seemed very pleased.
That release is like, yes, I'm out of here.
And now a threat to go with George Springer at the plate.
Chapman not with a great move, but he is left-handed, which makes it much more difficult to get a great jump.
There's a strike. Nips the corner with the slider.
See that bat handle that Springer uses? It's like an axe handle. It's not a true round handle, and it really gets back in your fingers. It enables you to stay, you know, kind of on a downward swing. Very interesting. I saw one of them in the dugout today, and it's I would have loved that because I always wanted to stay on top of the ball.
And that gets away from Sanchez. And the ball rolls into the Astros dugout. So now, on the wild pitch, Kemp is in scoring position.
Kone, this is the ones every once in a while you say, you know, the catcher had no chance. I mean, this is just an overthrown breaking ball.
Chapman is extremely difficult to catch. You can see that the ricochet. Sanchez tried to get down into a block mode, but once it hit the chest protector, it almost ricocheted directly sideways. Chapman's hard to catch. You know, he'll wing it up and away when you call one in. You know, if you're catching Chapman, it's almost as if you need to set up down the middle and be ready to move either way. Because a lot of times he's just winging it in there as hard as he can. That's how you throw 103 miles an hour. He doesn't know where it's going sometimes.
Nope. That's what's unpleasant if you're a left-handed hitter. If it gets away from, there's no way to get out of the way.
One.
102 in the dirt. I mean, there's no way you can be ready for that as a catcher.
Watch his glove, though. His glove is going the wrong way. That's a tough stop right there.
The last thing you think is call fastball and get 102 in the dirt. There's no way to. You don't have time to block that ball at all. To get any leather on it at all, you're doing a good job.
2-2.
Both strikes in this count against Springer have been breaking balls.
Two. Right back to Sanchez. Fires to third. Got him. They work on that in spring training, Paul.
But yeah, sure they did. I'll throw it 102 and ricochet it to you. Break for the Yankees, and they're out of it.
A good throw and a great tag by Andujar.
Wow.
As we go to the bottom of the 10. You can't make it up. It hit the padded area above the board and bounced right back to Sanchez.
You know, most of the things in the game you can practice. I don't know if you can practice a ricochet off the backstop, receive it, and make a good throw, which Sanchez did. Clearly out, and a big break for the Yankees. Wow.
Just above Sato. Hits the N in Yankees. Nice carom and a good throw. Brad Peacock, the new pitcher, faces Didi Gregorius, who takes inside.
Well, Michael, for future reference, we got to remember now, if you want a good ricochet, you got to hit the N in Yankees.
That's right.
Nowhere else, just the N.
And the home team knows that, just like the Celtics used to know the dead spot on the parquet floor. The 1-0. 1-1. There it is. That's the secret letter.
There it is. The fellow right there wants to spell Yankees without an N right now.
It's hard to blame him.
Oh, yeah, that's just a reaction. You see a ball launched to the screen, you're moving to third.
Ground ball to first. Gurriel takes it. One away. Now, Gary Sanchez has not distinguished himself in terms of blocking balls and pass balls, but David, that's a tough pitcher to receive, and Johnny Bench, I think, would have a hard time with Chapman.
Yeah, that's on Chapman all the way. I mean, he threw it 102 in the dirt and then 103 10 feet off the ground almost. So Chapman and one of the hardest pitchers to catch right now. He's got his velocity back. He's starting to throw the ball 103, 104, 105, but he doesn't know where it's going, which is effectively wild at times. It's hard to hit. It's hard to catch.
Here's Aaron Hicks. One and 0.
And Hicks has just missed one earlier we talked about. He's had some good swings. Just stay where you are. Don't try to do too much.
Brad Peacock is locked in history with a former Yankee. Game 3, 2017 World Series. Peacock, 3 2/3 inning save. Tied for the longest hitless postseason save in Major League Baseball history. The Yankees' Ken Clay in 1978 did the same thing. That was in the ALCS.
While you were talking, Michael, was another horrible strike one. Just the balls are not there off the plate. It just changes the at bat.
One infielder on the left side against Hicks. Switch hitter batting from the left side. Trying to end the game right there, 2-2.
Peacock had a little giddy up on that at 95, and you're right. Hicks had one thing in mind.
Peacock, proof that you don't have to be a high draft pick to make it. A 41st round pick in 2006 by the Nationals. 41st. 2-2. 3-2.
You throw 96 and you're in the 41st round, Cole. Huh?
Maybe that's why he has that number.
His fastball definitely plays up out of the pen. He's kind of a victim of his own versatility. He had 21 starts last year. Probably their 6th starter. He might be a starter on other teams.
3-2. Fouled away.
But he's one of those guys that when he comes out of the pen, his fastball gets a little more life to it.
And the pitch. Now back. Three-two. Strike 3. Hicks down. Looking. 2 away.
A lot of pitches up in the strike zone, and then all of a sudden just drives one right there. Sometimes you're concentrating so much in a long at bat that you just kind of freeze up.
Here is Andujar, the all-important walk that he worked in the 9th inning, allowed Gardner to tie it with the 2-run home run. Strike from Peacock. Chad Green's up in the Yankee bullpen.
I think they've started Andujar off all night with anything other than a breaking ball. It's going to be around the league that, you know, he loves that fastball. Another breaking ball.
Chad's ready to come in. And the 0-2. Line down the left field line. It's a base hit. And it's another extra base hit for Andujar. His second of the night.
Aaron Judge loves it. It's another breaking ball, but one that they did not get away. Andujar does a good job of staying on it. Another ho-hum double.
You hang it, he's going to bang it.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Judge directing traffic. And now here's Gleyber Torres with a chance to end it. Check swing. He does not go. 1-0. Torres an RBI single in the second. Since then has struck out, fly to center, and a strikeout. 25 ribbies for the 21-year-old. The number 9 hitter in the Yankee order. Andujar leads off second. 5-5 game, bottom of the 10th. There's a fastball strike, 1-1.
See a lot of frustration, as you've talked about, Paulie, Michael. We all have more frustration with the strike zone. I give Stassi credit. He frames really well back there. He makes those low pitches look good.
1-1. 2-1 on Gleyber Torres. Brett Gardner's on deck. There's a home plate ump, Trip Gibson.
Tough part for Gleyber Torres is it's the first time he's seen a lot of these pitchers. It's first time around the circuit, which makes his impressive start look even better. But especially some of these power arms out of the bullpen for him to get a look at and find out how they're going to work him. See,
Gleyber has walked it off before in his young Yankee career. In this case, he jogged it off. I just had a conversation with Gibson when Stassi went to the mound. Two-1. Swing and a foul ball off the mask of Gibson. More off the chest protector and then mask. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner at second. Bottom of the 10th inning. 5-5 game. Yankees have 13 hits to the Astros 10. Fouled away.
Good velocity, bad location right there, Coney. Up in the strike zone, out over the middle of the plate.
this looks like Gleyber's guarding against a slider right there and fought that fastball off.
Two-two. Line to right field. It is a base hit. Here comes Andujar. Here's the throw. Andujar's in there. And the Yankees win 6-5. A walk-off single for Gleyber Torres.
Well, Coney, you touched on it. It's all about the approach. Not the approach of the at-bat, but just not trying to pull the baseball the right side of the field when they're throwing the balls away. Torres is able to stay on that ball and line it to right field. A huge comeback and a big win for the Yankees.
That is a big win against a great starting pitcher that the Astros send out. And Torres makes up for 2 errors in the field and picks up the game winner. And the Yankees win a thriller by a 6-5 score. And we'll take a look at the play of the game.